Hey everybody, how's it going? This is Jimmy the Geek Aficionado, and I'd like to welcome you to What Do You Hunt? So we've got a great show tonight. We've got a great set of guests, and I want to say thank you to my guests from Tuesday, and that was 3 Men in a Basement, Otto, Roger, and Dave in the Cave. Thank you guys for coming on. It was a great time. It was a great show. It was great hanging out with your crew in the chat as well. And tonight we have an equally great show. And before we get to that, I just wanted to say cheers to everybody out there. I dropped a video in response to my friend Kavi's 1,000 subscriber, and it focused on a lot of Bond in my collecting habits. So I had to just imbibe a little bit tonight with the martinis. Anyway, so tonight, again, like I said, we've got a great cast. First guest, he's one of the most generous and caring people I know. He's had to take a step back from producing YouTube content for a little bit because he's taken on some new responsibilities, aside from raising his 7 kids. The king of the 9.8s, my friend Matt, TheBoyWhoHad7. How you doing, Matt? I'm
doing all right, man. That's a real gracious introduction. I appreciate it, man.
You're worth every minute of it, buddy. I'm glad that you were able to make it on. I understand you're not feeling well tonight. So everybody here on the panel and in the chat is, I'm sure, very happy to have you on. 1, because we don't get to see you as often, and 2, because you are battling a bit of an illness. So thank you very much for making it out tonight.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. I'm actually excited to be hanging out with you guys. So thank you.
Awesome. All right. So our next guest, if you haven't seen her recent video series, a ton of books I bought 3 years ago and forgot about, you're missing out. It's really good stuff, and she got some amazing things. She's got a great channel with a ton of content. Please welcome JoJo from Flix and Comix.
Hey guys, thanks Jimmy for inviting me on here. I've been really digging this show, so yeah, it's awesome to be here, and especially with Matt and Kenny, like that's awesome. Love those guys. So yeah. Thanks guys.
I did put a lot of thought into who I stacked together on these shows, so I'm glad it worked out, and nobody's like, I can't stand that dude.
That's funny.
Which brings us to our last guest. If anyone knows how to hunt for comics, it's this guy. I mean, his channel is chock full of bargain deals and side deals with shady dudes and getting some really hot stuff. And he's just, he knows how to work the East Coast, I'll tell you that much. He is the better half of the Mega Power Hour, 1/4 of the Graders Notes team, and an all-around okay person, my friend Kenny.
Jimmy, what a great introduction. Thank you for the kind words, dude.
I'm getting a lot better at this.
Legendary hunting prowess,
Absolutely.
Well, that's right.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to talk about that tonight. We're going to get all these secrets and then try to duplicate the kind of.
And you have been. I've been liking the panels you've been putting together. I can tell that you were like pairing them intentionally and thinking about it. And home run. I'm thrilled with the panel you put together for tonight, Matt and JoJo.
Absolutely. I was saying before, like, I never see you and JoJo together, and like, I mean, you're a big wrestling fan. She works in wrestling. I'm like, why are these two not doing more stuff?
You hear this guy? You hear this guy? Wrestling?
MMA.
JoJo. You gotta fool this guy, man.
It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, but you're right. There is wrestling involved, and
there is.
Yes.
You'll have to forgive my ignorance. I was just making a little bit of a pun there. But the mixed martial arts stuff is actually a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is.
For sure.
So we got a few people tailgating in the chat. We got Jeff Schultz getting his COVID shot.
Oh, man.
Stay safe, brother. I know my wife got hers done, so I'm next on the chopping block when my number's up.
Wow.
Our friend Kavi from New York.
Kavi.
Mr. Gretzky 9966. Thank you, sir.
What's up, Matt?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, JoJo was a big winner on the Don Dada competition.
Yeah, congrats.
But the wheel of misfortune
on 1K.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That was very cool. It was a cool, quick video that sadly I missed, but I caught the rewind and I was like, that's good. You kind of just move through it, had an intent, got through it because that was a lot to do, and it still lasted
There were a
24
ton
minutes.
of entries in that too. I was like,
Yeah,
wow.
when you triple it all up, it was like that you could barely see anything.
Yeah. Couldn't see anything.
I'm glad it tells you who won at the end.
Yeah.
I guess he's working on the shipping right now.
Nice.
Cool.
Very cool. JP's Budget Collecting. How you doing, bud?
What's up, JP?
I bet it was.
Wait, were you the backup winner, or did he draw your name first? I thought it was someone else.
JoJo was first. So JoJo was the second runner-up prize, right?
Oh, okay.
That's what it was. So she had her own prize, and then somebody else, and then the grand prize winner, and then there was talk about a backup because that was somebody that he wasn't familiar with and didn't have the contact info.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. Because I was gonna be like, oh man, I feel bad for the guy that missed out on that grand prize.
Right.
It's always the worst though when somebody wins a competition that you're doing and you have no idea who they are, man.
Yeah.
You always want to see your friend at that number one spot, you know?
So I always encourage people to like chat, you know, in the live chat, like actually say hi to us so we know who you are, you know?
Right. Yeah, still hasn't heard back from him yet. Well, he's got till the end of the week, right? George, we were just talking about you backstage.
What's up, D-Runk?
Yeah. Yeah, the Mrs.
Number 2, yeah.
Jimmy's missus was saying how she was not a fan of you, D-Runk.
Just my kids were kind of creeped out, but it's all.
Oh, is that who she was talking about?
No, just.
Oh my god.
Looks familiar, but not certain. Not gonna say anything. Well, so Matt was telling us earlier he's not feeling well and he wasn't sure he was going to be able to make it. And I was going to throw a jab like, it's okay, I'll just call JP. He's used to filling in for you.
That hurts more than you know, man.
We miss you so much, man. But we do love JP too. He's doing a great job. He really is.
I jump on the channel and the show and I'll watch Comic Gories for a while. And after I get off, I'm so sad. I kid you not.
Oh.
I'm just like brokenhearted when I get off, you know?
I don't want you to feel bad.
No, it's okay. I got to do what I'm doing, and I'm glad John and JP are kicking butt with it. But to see the panel that was on this last week, like with ComicHead84 and everybody, like, just like, man, those are some of my favorite times on YouTube. So it's tough sometimes, you know, but I'm glad it's going on. I'm glad they're kicking butt and having a blast with it. So it's good.
Very cool. Yeah, no, it is a little. Yeah, it's difficult, you know, for everybody, you know, when you're not there as well, you know, because you've been such a big part of it and making it what it is, right? And we all enjoy it. But yeah, I mean, sometimes you gotta move up onto bigger things.
Yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Look at what Kavi said.
What do you say?
Oh my God, man, let it go.
Yeah, it used to be called Friday Night Fights, and then Kavi got with me. Change it to this, man.
Like that's what he does, right? He spins it.
Oh, he's so good at naming things, man.
Hialeah still can't let things go.
Yeah, you tell him, Hialeah. There's collusion.
There's some collusion.
Who won the show again?
Who did win? I didn't see the end.
Kenny, who was it, man?
You know.
Oh yeah, no, it was Bearded Comic Bro, right?
Some bum second-rate YouTuber named Dustin from Two Brothers.
All I can say, I was really glad that he beat Greg. Like that was the only thing that I wanted to see. Greg lost.
I agree.
Yeah.
If there's anyone
Greg's always, you know, giving
Talk
me
smack.
yeah.
That's what he does.
Gives me a lot of gruff, that guy. Anyway, let's get to it. We're here to talk about hunting, and you know, specifically hunting for comics and things of that nature, and you know, whatever it is that makes us feel all warm and fuzzy. So, I want to start off with talking about collecting goals. Like, what are your collecting goals? How do you go after, you know, what you like to collect? So we'll start with Matt.
So, y'all know what I like to collect.
9.8.
Anything modern, it's got to be a 9.8, right? So I think I have one book in my collection after 1974 that is not a 9.8. Everything else from 1974 on, it's got to be 9.8 for me, man.
Wow, that is not a small goal, especially when you get to the Bronze Age stuff, right? Because just finding that stuff in those kind of grades is that's half the effort there.
Yeah, man. And what it ends up doing for me is I don't have really a list of what I'm going after. I just know a lot of things I like, right?
Sure.
And I'll jump on eBay and put a lot of stuff under my favorites. But as the best deal pops up, that's kind of what I go after, right? So like 2020, I was really excited to pick up an AF-15 finally. That's what I was going after. And then that baby popped up. And I'm like, okay, see you later, AF-15. I got to go with these. You know what I mean? So anytime I get like,
oh my God, I remember you getting an AF-15. I'm like,
no, I don't have one yet. I still don't have one. But when you get keys like this at that grade, it's going to take up your budget for the year. You know what I'm saying? And so it's a great thing to do. It's fun, and I love the way my collection is becoming what I want it to become. Mm-hmm. But it takes a little longer. You could buy so many smaller keys for the price of that book. You know what I mean?
But and that's the tough part, right? I mean, like when you're out there hunting, you're like, okay, I can get quantity, right, or I can get quality, and it's a tough decision, right? Especially if you like a lot, you collect a lot of different things. Yeah. If it's very narrow focused, right, like Dave in the Cave, on Tuesday, right? He Spider-Man, that's what he collects, right? Like Reggie, it's just like that's the focus, right? So it makes it a little bit easier if you're not, so widespread.
Yeah, it's true, man. So and then I mix that with white pages. And then it gets even, narrower and more expensive. But I'm super proud of it, man, because it's something I decided to do, and I've been going after it and working hard for it. And I've got 4 books left in my collection that aren't white pages. And so at one point, I will trade these books in so that I can get white page. Actually, I'll show you this. This is the one I had originally.
Yeah.
Off white to white. And just this year, I was able to pick up finally.
Oh, nice. White. So that's right. You're moving the other one along, right?
You all seen that one's for sale, right? So slowly, that's what I'm doing, man. I'm just trying to get my collection exactly how I want it. So other than modern books and 9/8 white pages, I want everything else white pages. And the grades, I'm okay with low grade is better than no grade if it's like a Hulk one or super old.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's gotta be high grade or no grade, man.
When you get a year that you've got a gold 28, you can just send it over here. You got my
right. Like with the 9.8, Matt, right? Is there like a year that you will not accept anything lower than a 9.8? Like, is it an 80s book? Like, because like your Punisher, is that a 9.8?
Yeah.
Right, that's like from the 70s, right?
Yeah, this is 1974, and that one's a 9/8 white pages.
So, like, any 70s keys, are you trying to get them a 9/8?
So anything that I think's worth it at that cost, I'll do it. Like for instance, I really wanted a Hulk 181 and a 9/8, right? When I first got into collecting, I thought I could go after that. It was in the 20s. And actually it was lower than that even when I got back into collecting.
Yeah.
And now it's like in the 60s. So I'm like, all right, I could get that one, but it'd take up like 4 years budget.
Yeah.
You know
That's a tough goal, man, because I always see like there's such a dramatic price jump between 9.6 and 9.8 on so many books.
Yeah.
So like you really stack the the odds.
I did.
Man. It's tough.
I think it might be a little bit easier once cons open back up, right, and everything is not being tracked. Yeah.
I've contemplated, trading a bunch of stuff and selling stuff so I can get some bigger keys like that. But I think I'm at the point now where unless I had a little bit of a rough year last year in 2020 because of COVID and the business, so I had to sell some stuff to pay some bills. But other than that, man, I mean, I'm gonna hold on to all this stuff as long as I can. The only stuff I'm really getting rid of are my off-white white pages, just so I can upgrade,
Yeah.
But Matt bullied me. It's true. It's true. He had the first appearance of who was it? Who is it? D. One of this.
One of his spider things.
Yeah, one of his Spidey things, man. I'm going blank now. And he's like, it's a 9.4. I'm like, dude, what is that nonsense, man? I went out about the 9.8. But I don't know, man. There's certain books that I do go after all the time in 9.8, so I'll justify spending the cash. Like any Batman villains or Bat Family, I want to have as many of those as I can have in 9.8. Any symbiotes. I love collecting symbiote Spider-Man, so I go after tons of symbiotes and Danny Ketch and Sentry. Yeah, Spider Clone.
149.
Yeah.
Right on. How about you, JoJo? What are your collecting goals?
Well, first of all, why did Matt have to go first? Because now my goals seem so petty. No, actually, I have goals, to be honest. I just go out and try to get good deals on stuff. And usually, obviously, I have my favorite characters. So Batman. Some of the books I feel like I'd be trying to go for are pretty much some of the ones that Kenny has gone for in the past year. So those like, Batman, Rogues Gallery, Silver Age first appearances and all that. That's on the list, but I don't really like making lists either. It's just kind of a general goal, just, I don't, people like making the yearly annual lists, and I don't really do that. I just kind of go and see what I can get.
It's like being like an opportunity buyer, right?
Exactly.
Like,
yeah.
When you present a good deal, I can buy with that.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta say, I do both. I am an opportunity buyer, definitely, and I have a stack of opportunity buys right here. I'm going to share it later, but it's but on the other side of it, I have to target focus on some stuff, especially when it comes to keys, because then I'll just forget, and then they're like, price.
Yeah, that's true. That's definitely true.
Like, for example, if you caught Tuesday's show, I knocked Action 252 off my list.
Nice.
And couldn't have done it at a better time because they just announced her casting for the Flash film.
Yeah.
So it's like, timing on that one was awesome.
Very true. Very true.
I'm the opposite. I sold my X-Men 1 to pay some bills, which still makes me want to just throw up. But
a really ugly 1.8 is that you could have for like 6
I sold the 4.0, man, and now it's like $6,000 more like 4 months later. So even that kills me. I'm like, if I had just held it 2 months, I could have made so much more money.
Family comes first. You know how it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to do what you got to do.
So opportunity buyer. So let me ask you this: Do you do runs? Do you do cover buys, keys?
Yeah,
there's
a certain, especially Batman. I try to pick up whatever I can. Usually,
that's always a difficult task. Is getting
It is. It's gonna take forever, obviously, but I don't know. It's just fun. It's kind of like always there. It's always in the background.
Right.
But yeah, like these two, I just picked up this year.
Ooh.
The Tech 80 and then the first Carnage there. I didn't have a list or anything. I have wanted this one forever. But the Carnage one, I just saw it at a great deal and I was like, I can't leave that there. So there it is.
Nice.
My collection.
Did you buy it graded? Do you ever submit stuff to CGC, Jordan?
I've never submitted anything.
I didn't think so.
CGC.
Yeah.
No, I'm not really a slab collector, honestly. But like I said, if I see a good deal, I'll get it. And I'm not a slab hater or anything. I think it's awesome. Like Matt's collection's insane and cool. So, and so is yours, Kenny. So, there's some people that are just like purists and they're like, only raw. But I don't know. I'm pretty open-minded with that kind of thing, but I tend to gravitate towards like all raw for some reason.
And if it's not like that important to you, it's one thing for sure is like, it's not cheap to grade stuff. Like when you send a stack of books, like you're going to drop a few $100s.
Right.
And I can totally get the logic of like, all right, this is going to cost me like $300-400 a slab. I could just get a really sweet raw stack of books, a raw key. Like I can totally get that logic, especially if slab is not that.
I think it seems fun if you're going into the hobby for that, like to, grade, because I see those videos where you get the CGC unboxing and you cover the grade, open it, and everyone sees the grade, and that's awesome. Like it's really cool. and I can see myself getting into that at some point. But right now, I've just been pretty.
Do you like to read what you grab, Jojo?
Yeah, I've been trying to do more of that, but it's sometimes hard. I don't know. But yeah, I've been trying to go back and read up all the Miller stuff, Batman Miller stuff, because I had never had before. So right now I'm reading Year One. Just finished up Master Race, which was all right.
Yeah, it was all right.
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
Oh wait, it's his turn and he bails.
Right, what you're gonna move over to.
I know.
We'll get back to him.
Yeah, no, reading is always there. Like I definitely don't want to just have my comics sit, because you can get so much more value out of it if you read them, right?
Yeah.
So especially since we have channels and stuff, you might as well read them. I mean, I'm also not hating on the people who just collect to collect. That's awesome too. Like,
yeah.
I don't mind.
There's a lot of different ways to collect. I mean, like I personally, my philosophy, my methodology on it, I collect keys and I slab keys, you know, but I'll also, you know, typically keep like a low grade copy, so I have, you know, I can thumb through, you know, if at all possible. But
yeah,
you know,
definitely. I
go
find that
that stuff gets so old, you don't want it to deteriorate, and you can you can read,
exactly
reprints and stuff like that all the time. So
I have been starting to kind of pick up more trades, because I do like the collecting aspect. So it's like sometimes I don't want to open those nice books, you know, and read them. Right. So I do pick up the trade wherever I can for cheap too, and then just read that and then call it a day. But I don't know.
So I might get a ton of flack for this, but I actually enjoy reading on this baby way more than I do reading.
Oh, wow, you guys.
I did most of my reading on the train when I was commuting into Chicago. Yeah. I had the Marvel Unlimited app. I read a ton out of that thing, because I read a ton of stuff that I didn't want to go having to hunt down and keep all this dreck in my collection. Like I was reading all the Ultimate storyline, you know, when, you know, Miles Morales came out, you know, and all that. And I just, like, I had the first Miles, but I didn't need the rest of Ultimate Fallout anymore, you know? So yeah, I love to read digital.
Yeah.
Me too.
You know, but I also do enjoy trade, right? You know, like,
I don't think I could do digital. I don't know why.
See, I'm like Jimmy. Like I used to carry a box to work, and I'd have like my whole short box, right? Yeah. And then I'd be at the park where my kids are playing soccer. And one day I had just got I don't remember what book it was, but it was a hotkey, and I was reading it, and the wind blew, and it bent over my hand.
Oh yeah,
it went from being like a 9.8, which you know I really like, to like this creased book, and that was the last time I ever took out raw books with me to, you know. So now
I get it.
Yeah,
I totally get it.
The game, I'm like, ooh, okay, she's going in. Time to watch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, as far as like the reading experience, like reading the comic is, I think, the best way to go, no doubt. But I felt like I hit the sweet spot on, because at first I tried it on my phone and then my laptop.
Oh, the phone's worse, right?
Once I got the tablet, like this iPad, it's like, it's just a good read. Like sitting in bed with this,
yeah, man.
And the colors are bright, and I'm turning the pages. Like it ain't that bad.
It's a 9-inch iPad, right? So you got a screen that's still the same size as a page of a comic.
And what got me into it was like new comic. Like we'll get to this, of like part of my collecting, the way it's changed is me off of New Comic Day. Huh?
So it's your turn. So let's get into that.
Oh, it's my turn. Sorry. Yeah.
We were just stalling until you came back.
Okay. Yeah, so I had to step out because I know you got your drink. What are you having? Tequila?
This is a gin martini.
Gin martini. I know Jojo grabbed a beer, and I had to step out because my DoorDash just came for my strawberry milkshake, like a gentleman, you know.
Man, I got the NyQuil up there.
And my water.
Vitamin C.
I was just gonna say what prompted the digital reading was me making the decision that I'm not gonna go ham on New Comic Book Day anymore. I had to make that kind of decision last year because a lot of them were like just one-time reading experience for me. I'll grab it, I'd read it, and they just start filling up boxes, and I'm like, I like the New Comic Book Day experience. There's certain titles I wanted to follow, but I didn't want to like collect them, you know. So the tablet was clutch. In the, you know, I didn't use Marvel.com. I used like Russian bootleg sites that post the book on Wednesday. So I'm like, I didn't even skip a beat, you know.
It's people like you is the reason why we have trouble with our elections.
Yeah, I heard that. I also heard
opening the door to the hackers.
Yep, I heard
Man,
that.
I did that for a while, and then my kids like they come in, and I'm looking through, you know, one of those sites, and all of a sudden there's all this bad stuff in it, and I'm like, oh, never mind, I can't do this.
Yeah.
So do you guys not read any physical anymore, or is it all?
No, I
digital?
read.
No, I do.
Oh,
I
you
read
do. Okay.
I still buy Batman and X-Men, but then I'll take the digital codes from the X-Men, put it onto my tablet, and then I just sell the book.
Hmm.
But I keep the Batmans because they don't have digital codes.
So, like, I have the whole Nightfall, Night Quest, Night Send, like that whole story.
Oh, that's
But
right.
I read the Nightfall on the iPad because it's on there, and then I had to buy Night Quest, so I'm like, I'll just go get it out of my closet and read it. But I had to stop because it's just so tough taking the whole box to work and coming back, you know. Buy it.
Yeah, I don't even have a pull list right now. Like I never have, ever.
You know,
I'm kind of the same way. I mostly just go in and see what they got, and they usually have what I needed, so it'd be fine.
So, Kenny, let's get back to that question though. Like, what are your collecting goals? Like, when you go collecting, like, are you hunting like, you know, runs, keys, covers? You know, like, what is it, you know, that you go out for?
It's tough, man. Because I've been thinking about this. You know, what do I collect? Like collecting goals. There's a lot of different avenues. You know what I mean? There's because there's first, I will say unapologetically, like two things that I like about this hobby is I love collecting, reading, building up my PC, and I like hunting, finding good deals, and selling comics. Okay, it's fun. It's fun, and it helps feed the other side. So like my buying goals, I have like a list of books that I think are wise purchases right now, even though it's not like a recent example of that was, I don't know where it is in the stack, but I recently got the Marvel Spotlight, the first Werewolf by Night.
Nice.
My most recent slab purchase, for example,
Numero dos.
is that. Yeah, here it is. I'm getting close. Here it is.
That's a good looking Rhino book you got there too.
Ah, beautiful cover, man.
Ooh.
So my most recent purchase, right?
Is that the white pages?
It is white pages.
Yeah, boy.
It is.
It's the only way to go, right, Matt?
Right.
and you know, I can't lie. I don't think I've ever read a Werewolf by Night comic. I'm not well versed with the character. I like werewolves generally, but this was like one that I'm like, I think this is a good time to buy that book. It's still like Bronze Age Marvel goodness that I love that I own it. It's great for the collection, but I'm not like passionate about Werewolf by Night. So
But
are
you hunting down the horror characters now though? Because I know you just got that Marvel Spotlight #5.
Oh, this whole thing?
Right. Yeah, that thing.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So, yep. You know, what I think is undervalued definitely will dictate. I'm all about trying to find that Venn diagram of like stuff that I really dig and, you know, things that I think will make like good investments. Like I love Ghost Rider. Like, come on. So Matt knows what time it is.
That's right.
And so this is like a perfect one that even if, you know, I predict that this book in like 5 years is going to, you know, be 3, 4, 5x what it is that I bought it at.
Sure.
But even if that didn't happen, dude, I'm stoked to have Spotlight 5. So I try to make those kind of purchases as much as possible. So there's that side of the collecting. I have my little, what I think are good investment type of purchases. But then there's just like, let's say I did a bunch of flipping of books like that, and I stacked up my PayPal of comic money. Now, what am I going to buy to treat yourself? Like, when we say fund the hobby, okay, I funded a bunch of stuff. Now what am I going to buy to treat myself? And I want, you know, I kind of want everything. There's a lot of things, but I narrowed it down.
That's
like,
me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
My PC stuff is Batman, X-Men, and it's Silver Surfer Galactus essentially, but it's like Fantastic Four, I guess you could say broadly. But to be honest, I love Fantastic Four's like the characters that orbit Fantastic Four more than FF. Honestly, like they're great. Don't get me wrong, but like they have the coolest surrounding orbit of characters: She-Hulk, Namor, Doctor Doom, Silver Surfer, Galactus, Black Panther. Like I love all those characters. But Silver Surfer Galactus is my jam. I got it tatted on me. I love the dynamic of those characters. So those are my 3 PC. When I'm always hunting, if I'm going to get a big book, I'm going to try to make it a big boy Batman book, Surfer, Galactus, or X-Men.
Nice.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So I want to touch back on what we were talking about before about the digital versus raw. You know, I'm not going to call it a controversy, but there is a little bit of controversy to that. So, and I want to get the panel's opinion on this. Now, I've been collecting like for years, right? I have a pretty wide, extensive collection that my wife would really hope that I trim down before we sell this house and go to retirement, because she doesn't want to have to buy a house with an extra room just for my comics. But, you know, reality is reality, right? So that said, so I have a lot of stuff like it's like, you know, like from the 80s, right? Like runs that I was collecting because I wanted to read them, right? Like the you know, second Catwoman run, the you know, Teen Titans runs, Young Justice, stuff like that. Stuff that's like I was just getting it to read. Right. And I've got, you know, let's say I've got, you know, a large chunk of it, but I don't need that to read it anymore. Right. I can just get it here. So does it make sense to just dump it, read it at my leisure digitally, right? And maybe get like, you know, $3-4 back from all that stuff because it doesn't have a really solid value forward. You know, or do I keep lugging it around for years, you know, until I actually do get around to reading it? And let's be honest, I don't do a lot of reading right now. You've seen how much content I drop. So what's your opinion? Like, anybody?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think, especially with the way that I collect too, I collect several different story arcs and stuff. So once I read it, I will definitely let it go unless it's those main characters that I like, you know? Mm-hmm. So I don't mind selling at all.
I'd say like, you know, as far as the reading, I think the best reading experience, the floppies are great, tablets are great, but picking up like I don't have the actual comic like our pal JoJo here, but my favorite form of like a you know, collected edition or hardcover, DC Absolute Editions, I think are the top pinnacle of it. So a run like this, Black Mirror, that I had like the floppies for and stuff, Kingdom Come is another example. They look great on a bookshelf. It's like a different kind of presentation. They don't take up as much space.
Sure.
And they look classy as hell. And the size of the page is like such a great way to appreciate the art.
That's gorgeous.
So, you know.
And I'm with you on that, but like I'm not going to get Legionnaires, you know, in Absolute Edition or, you know, something like that. It's not going to be a nice presenting thing. And that's kind of what I'm going for. Like I've had like on the back burner for a while, like the Robin series, right? With Tim Drake. And it's like I have the tie-ins to like the major events and stuff like that. But I'm like, do I go and get the rest of it? Do I care? You know, like am I going to get like 3 issues into this and go, why did I spend so much time and money getting 137 issues of, you know, of this? You know, and like, because I mean, I hunt half price books. I get like dollar books. You know, I get this stuff cheap when I can find it. You know, but stuff like Batman, Superman, you know, I'll probably keep, you know, getting through that. But yeah, and yeah, I feel you, Thunder House. I mean, that's it's just, you know, it's tough to, because I gotta, you know, like anything. Like right now, my main gag is I like Golden Age, Silver Age, Bronze Age, right? That's what I love because that's what I grew up on. But there's runs that go through Copper, like the X-Men and Batman and Superman and stuff like that I love, that I've read, you know, when I was growing up, that like I don't necessarily want to let that stuff go. Yeah. You know, so it's like I'll hold on to that kind of stuff, but it's like just the regular Drek. Do I just dump it or, you know, do I keep it? You know, because it's not going to really increase in value, you know. We know that that's not going to happen. So I don't know. It's just a kind of an off question, but, you know, we kind of rounded on it.
There is a compulsion to like, dude. Right now, I'm working on. This is my Marvel Age run. That
Ooh.
I'm just compelled to finish this thing. I don't know why, but I got to do it now. So it just goes part of like. There's a part of the irrational brain that gets.
Well, that one on top, isn't that the one with the symbiote suit?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, tons of true first, brother.
Oh yeah, right, true first friends,
quote unquote. Yeah, and I just bought another stack off DS last night. So yeah, there's oddball things like DC Comics Presents is another kind of like not big money thing that I don't know. So I feel
I've
you.
been going for the what ifs lately too, randomly.
Like I bought a bunch of volume 1s off Kenny at one of the auctions, some time back, and it's like I'm into the volume 1, right? Because that's when it came out. That's when it was fresh and cool.
There's something satisfying about hunting down a run and filling it out. So yes, it's valid that it's not the most efficient way to read it, and there's not going to be a lot of resale value. But you know what? The heart wants what the heart wants, brother.
Exactly. I go through that too.
You know what? I found that I continue to get new books from New Comic Book Day because I could turn around and sell them when I don't want them anymore.
Mm-hmm.
JoJo bought a few for me recently. I was reading the Catwoman's. I love the art germs, and then art germ jumped off of it, and there was other covers. But I was getting
exactly, and I don't have a pool because I can buy from Matt.
That's right.
So I dumped everything that I had from like the last 3 years, Marvel and DC, but I kept certain things, right? The art germ covers for Supergirl, Catwoman, were one of them. The Middleton covers, the Frizen covers, just because I love looking at them.
Yeah, they're pretty.
Yeah.
When I got back into collecting, the first thing that I did was go finish runs, like you guys are saying. So the whole Death of Superman, Funeral for a Friend, Return of Superman, Reign of Superman, right? I got Infinity Gauntlet, Infinity War, Infinity Quest.
Yeah.
I mean, man,
iconic stories too, right? Those are definitely understandable.
Yeah. But now I've been contemplating really hard, man, if I want to completely get rid of every floppy that I have except for keys that'll eventually pop one of these days. And so I almost sold a couple. Like I have the whole Todd McFarlane Spider-Man run, right? Like 1 through, I don't know, 100 and something. And my friend's like, oh yeah, buy that for me, $250, man. But I'm just like, now that he actually, is like, I'll give you cash for it. And I'm like, maybe I can't do it. It's so hard because I could read all those, right? And the Marvel Unlimited or Comixology, which I'm but so hard to get rid of.
Yeah, well, you start thinking about how long it took to, accumulate that too.
Right. I went out of town to get some. I went to different comic shops. I got on eBay and like slowly put all of those together, So I don't know. But after reading Night's End and Night Quest and all these, I really been getting frustrated because part of me is like, I don't want to touch this book because I want it to be in near mint condition. 9.8, it's the problem I have, right? So I don't want to read it. And so I'm like, well, if I'm not going to read it, why am I keeping these, Mm-hmm. So I'm like, I could read it way easier on this baby.
Yeah, it's a catch-22.
Man, so hard. Big
Mike in the house. How you doing? We got a lot of people have jumped in here. We got Sam I Am Comics. We got our good friend Mr. Slabdragon Watson.
Yay.
Thunderhouse Designs in here. Freaky Loey. Funk Comics. My man. Comics and Death Metal. Love that name. And Super Russ 9000.
Hey, Russ.
And Dustin or Nick.
I like how you said that because Free Key Louie. I always think it's because he gives a free key away every week. But the way you just said it really quick, and you sounded like Freaky Louie.
Yeah.
Which is that a double entendre that I didn't pick up until just now?
It probably is.
Freaky Louie, dude. I like it.
We'll let him decide what it is.
Yeah, let us know, man. Was that intentional, or did we just stumble on that?
Freaky Louie in the house.
Super Russ says he can't personally bring himself to sell anything. I can appreciate that. I mean, you get attachments, emotional attachments to the books that you spend this time going out and looking for. I was at Half Price Books today and picked up a handful of things. I picked up a really nice copy of Uncanny X-Men 281 in a newsstand edition, right? You know, and I looked it up. And I'm like, yeah, this thing is worth nothing. But it's the first Bishop, and I'm like, is it gonna get hot? Is it gonna make it be there? Is he coming to the MCU? But I'm like, you know what? It's a newsstand edition, right? And like newsstands, you know, in the '90s, those were rare. So I'll pick it up for $3, you know, and just hold on to it. Yeah. Whatever. But yeah, I mean, you like I said, you get into it, right? You know, and D has no problem selling things, so he can get his ASM 16.
I think I buy too much to not sell, because then it just gets out of hand for me, because I do love going on hunts and like buying a lot. And then I come back home like, all right, something's got to give here. So
yeah, I think I can relate with JoJo on that, because I think we probably have this similar thing of, I technically own a lot of comics that, like, it's not that I needed them in the collection and really want them long term. They're just a like an end result or a side effect of the fact that I love going out on hunting for comics. Mm-hmm. Like, it's like a zen time for me.
Totally.
Like, I work a lot, and Sunday is like my one totally day off. I don't think about work at all. And Sunday, around my parts anyway, is flea market day. The flea markets are only open on Sunday. So like, there's like 2 or 3 in my area and some shops. And
I have 0 flea markets in my area. I every time I hear you like, but oh yeah, look what I got at the flea market.
I know. I get so jealous. I wish I had a flea market like that.
Right?
Yeah, I feel.
He's throwing out bangers. He's like, look what I got for $10.
I know.
His little backpack on.
I went to a store today and I was just astonished. It's like I every time I go in there, I know like this place is so overpriced, right? They've got low grade stuff for high grade prices. And I talked to the guy at the store and I'm like, hey, I said, you know, how long have you worked here? And he's like, well, it's like since the store opened. I was like, okay. I said, is it me or does it seem like the prices here are a little high? He goes, no, we got people coming in all the time telling us how great our prices are, how they're low, and you know, they go everywhere. He's like, do you go to a lot of shops? I said, I go to every shop in the region. This is the place with the highest prices, right? Like I even showed him, I was looking at a Captain Atom 83, right? That was like a solid 6.0. And I'm like, I looked it up on GPA. I said, it's $130 last sale on GPA, slab book. You're asking $400.
Wow. Does
that seem odd to you? He goes, well, that does look like an old price sticker. And he did nothing about it.
Oh, man.
And I'm like, see ya, maybe another time. Doubtful I'll ever come back to the store again, because I keep trying. Like I keep like, okay, I'll give him another shot. See ya, and it's like I always find that,
Yeah.
You know what, man?
Put it in, man.
I post all my books like when I sell stuff on Instagram, on eBay, on OfferUp, Let It Go, right? I have it all over the place, right? And just the other day, this kid bought one of the books for me from OfferUp. So I met up with him. He's here in town. We met at a parking lot and I handed him the book. And he's like, hey, what does this 9.8 mean? I'm like, dude, you're buying this book for me. You don't even know what this is. He's like, no, it's because I have a bunch of 6.5s and people have been telling me that the lower the grade, the better. So he's like, I bought this and it was like a no key issue Batman, like 4 something. And a 6.5, like, and he's like, oh yeah, I got this one for $400, man. And they were telling, and I felt like my stomach dropped, man. And I'm like, who sold that to you? He's like, oh, this comic shop over here. I'm like, oh man, that's the same dude that screwed me over.
That's the same guy with the 9.8 number one.
So I didn't say anything, but I'm like, here's my YouTube channel.
Don't ever go to that guy again.
Jump on. And the higher the grade, the better. I feel sick to my stomach right now thinking about it, but
in the white of the page.
I just wanted to go take a little TNT and throw it in that shop.
Have you guys done well with the OfferUp app? Because I have not. I always strike out with.
I get a lot of people. I don't see a lot of listings on there because I've got a search on there that's like like anytime comics pops up, and it's usually people selling their 90s Drek. But sometimes I'll find like a little diamond in the rough, like I found one that like I just couldn't find the time to go and follow up on, but it had like a copy of The Pro from Grant Morrison. And I was like, he wants $30 for the whole lot. and it's like a whole lot of junk, but there's a handful of like Adam Hughes Vampirellas and that book in there, which I know is like a $60 book on itself. I'm like, okay. But yeah, it's like sometimes you get like a little diamond in there, but yeah.
Nice.
I bought some stuff, like some people just don't know how to grade, like, oh yeah, man, it looks great. That corner looks fine. I'm like, and I get them like, no, it's crunched just like I thought it was. And you're like,
Jojo, are you talking about buying or selling on those apps?
Buying. Actually, just straight up meeting people has been a nightmare for me over here. It's just
a lot of
just flaky people, and then mostly just trouble with communication mainly.
Yeah. Well, these are people who are they're not that interested in getting rid of it. It's like it's just something. Oh yeah, I found this. I got to get rid of it. And I put it on here, and they don't look that often.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think D's willing to go down to Texas and help you out.
Yeah. I made a couple of good connections on those on on Craigslist and what was it? Let Go, which I think they changed to OfferUp.
Let Go was bought out by OfferUp. Yeah. I haven't been on. I mean, I bought a whole big run of Green Lanterns years ago, like a long box of Green Lanterns off of Craigslist. But I can say I haven't been on Craigslist in a long time.
Same here.
Do you still see a lot getting listed there?
It's not very as active, and like a lot of it is hit and miss. I just had like a couple of things that worked out, and maybe it's just keep at it, and maybe you'll link up with someone, because there was one guy that linked up, my boy Bobby, who he started by just listing a couple books, and from meeting him and kind of getting a rapport, he kind of opens up of like, he had a huge collection, and he was trying to liquidate everything but his big primo keys, which is like X-Men, Tales of Suspense, 32, like the big boys. And he was, all his little stuff he was liquidating. And that was like stuff, that's where I got my first vision. Like all his stuff that was like not big boy was bangers. And over the course of like 4 or 5 months, I was meeting up with him like every other weekend. And it was all off just that first Let Go app that I happened to meet him. And like, it became a human honey hole, if you will. So I'd say, keep the tendrils out, man. You never know.
Yeah.
Make decent connection,
I actually got the rack from Craigslist.
Nice.
Yeah. That was like the last time that I actually bought anything off of Craigslist. I don't think I've ever bought comics off of Craigslist, though.
Yeah.
I found a guy here in town, and I wish this is when I was newer into collecting. This is probably like 2017, maybe 16. But he's like, hey, I have a whole bunch of books, and there were some, and I'm like, I'll go check it out. So I did, and I pulled out a bunch of good books for $1, $10, whatever. And a lot of those went to my first CGC submission, which had a whole bunch of 98s come back, right? But if I had gone back now, the guy used to own a comic shop, and he just like, I'm just trying to get rid of all this. You want to make me an offer on everything? And I'm like, no, I'll just take a couple keys.
Right. But
thinking about it now, man, I would have been like, yeah, let's do this,
Yeah.
And
like Alex, the comic hoarder, did recently.
Oh my god,
that was killer.
Insane.
So fun to see that.
I paid like $4,000 for that whole thing, man. That's so good.
Oh.
Man.
I'm almost done recording a series of videos for a collection I bought in 2018, kind of like JoJo.
Oh, nice.
But it's a collection of like all silver and bronze, like runs and stuff. And like I pilfered the thing, right? But it's like now I got to show something like, hey, this is what I got, right? And like because I just finished grading it, because it's 1,400 books.
Oh wow.
So, yeah, it's a ton. Yeah, it's very similar to like what Alex got, but it's really like there's like stuff that's super high grade, and then there's stuff that's like pretty low grade. So it kind of runs the gamut. But yeah, I'm kind of excited to actually finally roll this out. Because I got to put it all on the website and everything, start selling it, and start doing YouTube auctions or claim sales and Instagram.
That is PC.
What's that?
How much of that is PC?
So of the 1,400, I took, I want to say like 350 books into the PC. So now like stage 2, now that's all graded, stage 2 is swap for the higher grade stuff. And then stage 3 is send stuff off to CGC. for like the keys and stuff for resale, and then step 4 is put it all onto my website for sale. So it's gonna take some time.
How long does it take you to look at a book and come up with a grade?
So grading a book takes roughly 2 to 3 minutes.
Yeah.
You got to count pages. You got to I have a 6-7 point checklist, of things that I check. You check the front cover, the back cover, the spine, the interior. Looking to see if the staples are stitched. Look at the staples, see if there's rust. Just things like that. And you just kind of start adding it up.
Cool.
But yeah, 1,400 books. Yeah, it takes a little bit of time, and I have like a whole slew of other things that
That's a lot, man.
that you're like squirrel. But anyway, back to you guys. So enough about that. Do you guys do any trading?
Yeah.
I don't think I ever have.
Ken?
I haven't done a ton of trading. No, I wouldn't say it's like a regular thing. I've done like a couple trades. Only 2. I can only think of like 2 times that I've traded. I traded with Spidey Fan, a G.I. Joe 1 for it was really nice. It was my Mark Brooks Psylocke variant. That's my Mark Brooks Grail. So that was great. Great little trade there. And R.I.P. Edwin Jabroni. I traded a sketch cover for Batman, the first Jason Todd. Not even Steven. I threw him a couple bucks and I did a sketch cover for him, and we did that. So a couple trades, but both of them went great, went smooth. But not the most common occurrence, no.
Yeah.
So Matt, you said you've done some trading?
Yeah, I have. I'm always willing to trade. Like my Brave and the Bold 54. I've been trying. I'm like, someone buy it or trade me something for it, But like I bought a raw Batman Adventures 12 a while back, and I think in 2017, and it came out in 98 white pages, and I was trying to sell it for so long, and nobody wanted it.
I remember that. You were yeah.
I had it forever, man. But then some guy's like, "Hey, I'll trade you some stuff for it." I'm like, "All right, what do you want to trade?" So I ended up getting an Avengers 8, 7.5 white pages. And then I got oh man, I can't remember a Thor 337 and a couple other things, but I ended up being able to sell those, and so it worked out for me, man.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Gotta like really trust the person, no?
Yeah. I mean, if I only trade the people I know,
Mm-hmm.
So some guy today, he messages me because he saw my Daredevil post on Instagram, and he's like, "Hey, if you want some Daredevil books, hit me up." So I did, and then I told him, "Okay, I'm looking for this one, this one." He's like, "Yeah, I have like 20 of those, but I'm not going to trade any of them." And then I'm like, "All right, what about this one?" "No, I have like 10 of those, but I'm not trading any of them." Like, what did you tell me? I
have 10 of them, but I'm not trading them.
But like, if I had done a trade with that guy, I would have had to figure it out because I didn't know the guy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Especially with bigger books like that.
I've tried to like go after like people who like somebody's got like a bigger book that I'm looking for, and it's like, hey, what do you want to trade? And they're like, oh, they're like Grail for Grail, and I'm like, okay, would you look at any aggregate? Like can I offer you like a dozen other Silver Age books that are looking pretty nice, that you might need? And it's like, no, I just need Grail. So I'm like, okay,
yeah,
it's tough.
Yeah.
DS just throws the hammer down and says, nope.
Yeah, he does. Like I do payments on when people like want to buy a book from me. I do payment plans. Yeah. I had a bad experience with somebody in the tube. They claimed a book and they're like, "Hey, I'll pay you next week." And then I got with them next week. They're like, "No, I'll pay you in 2 weeks because this came up." And so I turned down like 3 or 4 other offers because I'm like, "This is a person I know."
Yeah.
And like 2 months later, after going through that, they're like, "No, never mind. I don't want it."
Oh.
What the heck, man?
That is rugged.
Yeah, it was kind of crappy, man. So like DS is like, I don't do none of that nonsense, man.
Yeah.
He always tells me that. Don't be traded. Don't be giving people payment plans. Just keep the cash.
Yeah.
All right, so let me ask another question. So it's kind of similar to a question from before. I think Matt, I can already answer this question. It's 9.81 pages. But yeah, I mean, what do you guys actually hunt for? Right, when you're going out there, what are you looking for? You know, whether it's not like something from a list or something like that. You know, you didn't make a list, but like, you know, when you go out, what are you trying to find? Let's start with Kenny.
What do I try and find when I'm out hunting in the real world?
Yeah, or online, doesn't matter. You're hunting. You got your resources.
You know what I'm saying? Looking for deals. Any older books. First off, put it in the category of Bronze Age and older is generally where I'm at.
Say that again. Bronze Age or older?
Generally, I think so. Yeah, a lot of, if I got a bunch of boxes in front of me, and I'm seeing that a lot of stuff is like 2000s. Well, I'm gonna go to the older stuff first. I might work my way back and do like a quick breeze through just to see, but I won't go through them as intently as I will some of the older stuff.
But you're a seller too, man. So I mean, you're out there not only looking for books for your PC, but you're looking for books that you can flip, man.
That's true, but it's also relevant that most moderns aren't worth anything. You know what I'm saying? I feel like you have to get the,
Sorry.
Yeah. Do you think that largely is true, other than select keys and stuff for modern stuff?
The comic industry has blown up, man. Like there's some books that I found a year ago for like $20 that are now selling for like 200.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some crazy like this book, Danny Ketch, right?
Yeah.
I collect as many of these as I can get. I have a ton of these. I love the character. But when I bought this book, I got it for like $125. They're selling now on eBay for like $550.
Oh wow.
So it's like,
I need to find me some
you know what? Everything's just getting more expensive, man. And so maybe you'll find some modern keys that.
Yeah. Well, I guess that, and maybe I'm not talking like the textbook modern.
Yeah.
Because that's early 90s, right? Wasn't that early 90s?
Yeah, 91. 90.
Yeah,
that's still kind of older. To me. Yeah, I guess I'm talking more like in the past, like
there's
5
people in the community that aren't even that old.
I see that.
Yeah.
Like more like 2010s and up, you're saying?
Yeah, or 2000 and up, for that matter.
Yeah, the name modern for an age, we got to work on that because it's too big of a net, dude. You got a bunch of 10-year increments, and then you get, a 50-year chunk? Like, stop that.
That's not necessarily true. I think between silver and bronze, that was the big, there was a big change over, right? You got, you're talking, 58, 59 to really to 70, in the silver age?
Like 10 years.
Yeah, 10, 12. I'd say it's probably close to 12, between 10 to 12 years. And then the Bronze Age effectively ended, I would say, like 80. Yeah, so it's just roughly 10. But then, then there's copper, right, which I would definitely say bleeds into the 90s. But but you're right. Modern is I feel that there's two waves of modern, right? There's like 80 to 2000, then there's 2000 and up.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you just go by decades.
Yeah.
It's probably the cleanest way to do it.
Yeah, but the rough one, though, is Golden Age, right? Because Golden Age encompasses 31, 32, or 38 maybe, like all the way down to 58. That's a 20-year gap. And then you got some people that, that consider, there's Golden Age and there's pre-code. So it's like, okay, so there's Atomic Age and in pre-code. It's just that's a tough distinction. That's more for the Tuesday guys. On Comic Core, they could probably get deeper into that. That's an area I'm not as knowledgeable in personally.
Yeah.
DS is actually chiming in here. He says gold is 38 to 55. I assume that does it go to Atomic after that? Yeah, Action 1 to the Comic Code Authority.
I feel him on like you said, Spawn 1 to the start of the MCU as an era, and I think there's something to be said for like starting an era where the MCU movie started, because it is a different like.
Yeah, man,
I feel like that changed the comic book game
completely.
drastically. Like I don't know, it's the MCU age, it's the movie age. I don't know what it is, but for someone who's been collecting a long time,
but I don't know. It didn't really change the way the stories, I think, were written. I mean, like DC and Marvel were two different things, right? Marvel's tried to keep things new, even though stuff started back in the 60s. Like you're talking about Captain America, right? Captain America was in World War II. Well, every year that gets longer and longer, right? So now he's been around for what? He was born in the 20s, right? So he's 100 years old now.
Yeah.
It just becomes more and more difficult to make that same character relevant when they never age.
You know what?
DC do a better job of that because they would go, okay, let's blow up our universe and redo it again every 15 years or so.
I was looking at GPA on some of these books that I've picked up, right? Prior to 2010 when Iron Man 1 came out.
Yeah.
And the prices, man, I wish I had been into comic collecting back then, because it's night and day, man.
Oh, it totally is. But
4.81, $9.8, $2,000 back then.
But I guess one thing about that
dollar at that time too, it's significantly different, right?
It is.
You look at just look at a market report of the last 20 years of the Dow Jones, right? And it's a significant climb north, right? With only just a slight divot and then keeps going back up. When you see the Dow Jones go up like that, that means the entire inflation rate, everything goes up in price, right? Not necessarily value, but goes up in price. So you have to be able to do a good contrasting economic comparison between those two things at those times.
Yeah. Somebody was telling me the other day that they were doing some research. I don't remember who this was, but during pandemics, when you go back and look at all the pandemics that have hit the world, collectibles always skyrocket. Yeah. And I was like, really? And they're like, yeah, I was doing research, and over all the times I've ever had pandemics, people are buying stuff.
Mm-hmm. Collectibles. Companies lose money, but value objects don't.
Yeah.
I have a new series called Slab City that talks exactly about that.
Yeah.
Thanks for the segue.
Yeah.
My shameless
video. Was it your video I was watching?
Yeah.
Maybe it was.
Did you not know it was me? I mean, it's the same.
I have so much going through my brain that something.
The same shirt. Matt needs a nap.
Go watch Jimmy's show.
So, but still on that. So on that question. So, Kenny, talking about what you actually hunt, what you go out looking for. So, to round that off, what would you say is more like older stuff?
I suppose. I mean, aside from like those three main categories that I said of like X-Men, Batman, and then like the Surfer FF world, the ones that I'm working on, the Kirby New Gods run, I want to finish up. So I'm always got my head on a swivel for those.
Nice.
Anything from the Buscema Surfer 1 through 18, those. So there's a bunch of little. I'm missing 3 issues from the full Commandy run. So I got whenever I go to a spot, I'm always I got my little list. I need those 3 issues of Commandy because I just to button that up. It's 60 something issues. So there's a bunch of little collecting goals like that, for the PC stuff. And then the other part of it is just deals. Honestly, I got all my little PC lists that I'm hunting, and then deals basically.
Nice.
All right. What about you, Jojo?
There's a couple of books that I'm always trying to look for, and one of them is, you guys know that I think it's called Cacophony, Batman Cacophony.
Yeah.
The Kevin cover, the
Kevin
Joker
Smith,
cover.
right?
What's up?
Is that the one that Kevin Smith wrote?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have all of the issues except for the Joker one, the main one that people look for, and that's the one that I'm really trying to get. So anytime I try to find those. Another character that I'm trying to I really don't have much of that I want more of is Zatanna. Just anything Zatanna right now.
Good
I
luck.
would love. But yeah, I basically just kind of think of characters that I just want to get to know
That one,
more.
JoJo?
Yes, that one.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
Never seen that.
That one featured his Green Arrow character Onomatopoeia. That was a pretty cool book.
I mean, I have the other issues, but I just need that one. So,
For it raw, or are you looking for it graded?
raw preferably. But I mean, like I said, if the slab is a good deal, I don't hate it. But yeah, and then like I said earlier, actually recently I have been liking Bronze Age more. I don't know why. I guess because the cheesy horror comics.
There's so much good horror from the Bronze Age. I mean, you had guys like Mike Plug and Bernie Wrightson, Neil Adams. I mean, that was their heyday.
Yeah. So it's been fun trying to like scoop those up recently. And then, Bronze Age is still at that like affordable price. So it's
For now.
I know. That's
Bronze
why I'm
Age
like
is a
trying
new
to do
grade, I'm telling you.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, just stuff like that. Even like the She-Hulk, Savage She-Hulk run, like that type of stuff. I like the old Spider-Woman run. Just, trying to fill those runs. And then what else? Like I said earlier, the Silver Age Batman Rogues Gallery first appearances.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of like the general type of thing that I go for.
I feel you on Bronze Age horror. Like that's one thing that DC is, I think, dominant on. Like Marvel, you can tell they tried their hand with some Marvel horror stuff, and it's decent, but
Marvel's a little campier, yeah.
Yeah. DC Bronze Age horror, dude, has got such great runs. Like one that I'm trying to fill out the Weird Mystery run. I got a chunk of those. There's like tons of good
stories
stuff.
are pretty cheesy, like I will say.
Yeah.
But they're still cool to collect.
Those all in Mylar, Kenny?
Indeed.
Looking good, man.
Especially this one, shout out to my boy Metarog, who gave me my very first Mark Jula variant in this Weird Mystery issue.
Nice.
So, very cool. That's why I have two of them. I got one regular that I bought, and then Roger's Jula variant.
And I also like collecting those types of things.
He would know.
Yeah.
From him, you know it's dark.
Yeah. The Mark Jeweler stuff, like those kinds of things are fun to collect as well. Like, second print, third print type of things are always fun. I don't really do that so much for like the value of it or anything. I just like collecting the different prints.
I liked the DC second prints, from like back in like 90s and 2000s, because they were like the covers, right? Like that's when you got a variant, right? Because it was another printing, and that made it, just as valuable in my opinion, because it was a lower print run and it was cooler. It was cool because it had that, that difference to it. Before every book that came out had 7 variants to it.
Yeah, and that's how the older variants were too. Like, what's one of those old variants? Oh, like that Adi Granov Amazing Spider-Man with the Venom. I don't know if you remember that cover.
Oh, yeah. The Amazing Spider-Man, like 569.
Yeah, but that one, those variants were like some of those first kind of harder to find variants, And that era of variants was awesome, but now there are just a ton of variants, so it's not.
That was the second print.
Yeah, that's in the
second print.
It's like with the face, right? With the
it looks like he looks like Alien, like creature from Alien.
That one, like stuff like that, is always fun. So.
Yeah, and then so the DC Universe variants, like those have gotten really hot, right? Because you realize there are so few of them out there, and like I know there's some people that are like hunting those things up in 9. I think TJ's hunting those things up in like 9/8.
Wow.
Just trying to name them out. I could be wrong, but I know he's shown some.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Matt, what about you? Like, what do you look for besides 9.8 white pages? I know it's a criteria of what you're looking for, but what are you looking for?
So, like I said earlier, I really love Batman and Spider-Man, man. Like,
Those are the main.
Most of my collection is Batman and Spider-Man. And those are my two favorite characters, right? But I love, like, I'm trying to find all of the Batman villains, in 9/8s. So newsstand on that one,
Nice.
But yeah, I have like the first appearance of Bane, right? Vengeance of Bane, and then I'll pick up first appearance of Robin. So one of the things I was saying earlier is because I get books that are a little bit more expensive, sometimes I have to choose one or the other,
Yeah.
So one of the tricks that I use is PayPal credit. So I've got about $13,000 in PayPal credit. And so what I'll do is I'll buy a big book, put it on PayPal credit, and it's like 0% for 24 months. Right? So
24 months. Wow.
24 months, man. Yeah. And every year they offer it to me multiple times. Hey, right now during this period, you can get 12 months or 24 months for 0%. And so, like, I wouldn't recommend it to anybody that's not good with it, like keeping up and paying their bills, because you're going to get yourself in trouble getting comic books on credit, right?
Yeah.
If you're good at it, then, like, I picked up this Journey into Mystery, 83. I sold my other one that was off white pages, upgraded to this one, white pages, right? But I wanted to get the Batman 232, the first Ra's al Ghul, and it was a 9/8 white pages. And so I had to choose, do I upgrade and get my Journey into Mystery, or do I go with the, Ra's al Ghul?
Well, do you get them both? All of them?
I wish, man. But I had to go with the Journey into Mystery, and then somebody bought the other one, and now I'm like, no,
Yeah.
So I'm always looking for Batman, Spider-Man, 9/8 white pages, obviously. But I just love keys, things that mean something to me. And like we were joking about earlier, I like so much stuff that, and I'll buy stuff. I'll buy stuff specifically to flip. I don't know if I have anything out here, but I don't have any out here that I want to flip. But like I've got the first Spider-Man 2099 #1, but I've got the white second print variant.
Mm-hmm.
You know that one?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, a unique variant, right?
Yeah. And so I got that in 9/8 white pages. It doesn't really mean a lot to me. So one of these days when that character shows up and it blows up, man, I'm flipping that one big time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I do kind of like Kenny does. I'll look for deals, and either for my PC or to flip. So, yeah.
Right on.
What's up, Pat Wall? Jackson Roy Kirk. DS.
Yeah.
So I want to just note, like, the rousing chat that we've had all night, like on all the topics that we've been touching on, whether it's been, ages of comics or, or some of the stuff that we're looking at. But I have to get to the main question, right? Because if I don't, then I get an earful from TJ later. What are you guys looking for this year?
I'm glad you asked this question, because I want to say I've been watching many episodes of the show, Jimmy.
Yeah.
And I have something to say.
I'm not telling you.
Because you, Jimmy, you always have that running list, very transparent list of what Jimmy's trying to hunt in this year. 2020, you put a lot of check marks on it, right?
Yeah, I was very happy about that.
Bunch of books, all for the world to see.
It's my ADHD. If I don't do it, then I just don't get it.
I love it. It's fun for me to see what you're working on and all that. And I plan to completely fill you guys in on my books that I'm planning to get, even the ones that I think are undervalued. And because guess what, man, you gotta get over yourself. Your picks are not that special or important. You saying what you're going after isn't gonna make a gold rush. Everyone's gonna rush for that book. Your picks are not that unique. And I think everyone should share what they're hunting. What are they afraid of? You know what I'm saying, Jimmy?
Yeah,
Don't you want to hear them say the picks?
What's that?
Don't you want to hear them say what the picks are?
I do. I have a whole show around this, and it's like dragging it out of me.
Like every show, people are like, Well, I don't really want to tell you what I'm going after. Why? Like, anyway, so that just wanted to get that out of the way. I implore future guests of the show, cough it up, bro. I bet you they're not that unique. Your picks.
Yeah.
That's funny.
With that being said, the book that I'm planning to get, I'm like on a real buying. This is gonna be like a buying hiatus year for me because I got some work career things in the mix, and I got to have a shit ton of liquid cash at the end of the year, beginning of next year. So
Yeah.
I got to be a good boy, man, and not like, it's just not prudent for me to be dropping $2 or $3 grand a month on books or something like that. I got to put that stuff away. But if the books that like I feel like, man, I should get these now before they like become unreachable or they really spike, and the books that are, it's like I said, that Venn diagram, you know what I'm saying? Books that I really want, and I'm worried that in a couple of years they're going to be double the price of some. I need an X-Men 101 high grade, first Phoenix. It's already an expensive book, but let me tell you something, man. A few years from now, that's going to be one of those Grail books. Epic cover.
After that lackluster performance at the box office,
Yeah,
but it's still always gonna be a big book.
Right. It's a huge key. Phoenix is awesome. If a garbage movie, a trash can movie can make the book spike, can you imagine what once Disney gets its hands on it?
Oh yeah.
It's a classic.
Do you have that in the 9.8 web pages yet?
No, it's on my list.
Okay, we'll get to Matt.
He's right though. I passed on one for $4 grand last year.
Yeah.
And I can't find one under 8 now. So
Wow.
like
It's not that much.
Yeah, man, it's frustrating.
Yeah. A lot of those
You
X-Men.
need to take a page out of TJ's book, Matt. Get it as high as you can with the white pages.
I can't, man, because I see people's collections. I'm like, not 9.8. But for me, like, I can't do it, man. I can't do it.
I love it.
I was teasing TJ yesterday because he posted a 9.8 white pages. I'm like, finally, dude, And he always makes fun of me. He's like, dude, it's not really white pages in there anymore, right?
Kind of brown. So Kenny, you would like to get yourself an X-Men 101.
Oh yeah, for like big, and we're talking like a big purchase, like a big key purchase. Like last year was this one.
Oh yeah, it's big.
And the funny thing is, I got this for the Magneto aspect of it, like First Brotherhood. I'm like, yeah, it's Scarlet Witch, that's cool, but Magneto Squad starts here, and now it's like the big Wonder book. But yeah, when I want to treat myself to a bigger book, there's only two that like are really on my mind, and I would consider it if things line up properly. And it's that Uncanny 101 and one that's on your list, Jimmy. And I think you wisely noticed that. I think it's undervalued right now, and it's on its way up, baby. Is FF3. FF3. I think it's a very smart book, and it's fantastic cover, dude.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah.
I actually found one.
You did?
That I think I'm going to go after. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You should.
Yeah, I was like,
So that's it. Short list for me. This is not going to be a buying year. It's going to be a selling year, honestly, for me. So just got two big books that I may consider if things line up properly.
Fantastic. JoJo.
Oh, this is so hard.
So if there was a book that you would want to put a lot of effort into getting, right, what would it be?
Probably one of those Silver Age Batman villains. So I'd say the Riddler would probably be the first.
Wouldn't we all?
Yeah.
The trailer didn't help that matter at all, did it?
What's that?
So that Batman trailer didn't help that matter at all, did it?
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, that one, or even like Scarecrow would be cool. For Scarecrow. Something a little smaller. I do want to track down, and I know Carson was selling one today. First Jessica Cruz, and I was contemplating it because he had like this rare variant of it, like, or a second print. I wasn't sure, but
Was it Green Lantern 25 or is it the Justice League one?
Green Lantern.
Okay.
Yeah, and so yeah, I want to track that one down, and then what else? I don't know. That's the thing. I don't really shop like that. You know, I don't have like a set list or anything. Kind of just go in and find what I can. Especially, you used to live in Vegas. I don't know if you used to struggle with this, but I really don't see too many like key comics out here unless you're going to Torpedo or something. But
Torpedo, so Torpedo wasn't there when I was there, right?
okay.
And no doubt about it. The West Coast in general, like, and I'm talking like west of the Rockies, Torpedo Comics is the spot, right? If you're looking for key comics, you're looking for stuff you can't find, that is who you go talk to. I mean, they just uploaded a video yesterday about, you know, this like high grade collection they got from, you know, someone in Michigan. You know, it's like they're bringing them in, and they do grade it solid, and their prices can be a little bit, you know, but they got it right. So, my experience is that they actually will work with you, right? And I've known these guys for years. Like I've known them since they started doing shows, you know, in the convention circuit when they didn't even really have the store open yet. But Cosmic Comics was always my go-to. Jim, the previous owner, was a great friend of mine. I knew him when I had a shop in Vegas, and but there wasn't a lot of good shops that had a lot of good keys, you know. And then they pop up and then they go away, and they pop up and they go away.
Exactly. That's the issue that I have. So if I'm waiting for cons to come back, because that's usually where I get to see more and kind of haggle and stuff. But yeah, other than that, kind of just go with the flow and see what I can get.
Jojo, do you have this book?
Yes, I do. Sounds cool.
Pity, that's the only second duplicate I have of the Batman Silver Age stuff.
Yeah, I got that one too. Yeah,
sounds cool.
It's a good one.
But yeah,
Scarecrow's a good pick. That's one of the I got a few of those villain keys, but yeah, not Scarecrow. That's a good one.
Yeah. I also need Poison Ivy. So, but like I said, I'm in no rush. If I get them this year, awesome. But if not, I'm still gonna be collecting next year. So
see, I love JoJo's approach. She's just like, man, I'm in it for the love of the game, dude. She's like, just out there enjoying it's
pure.
The hunt.
Well, honestly, I have spent like time hunting things, and then I don't ever see them at the prices that I want. So I kind of just let it go, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna just let that whatever bid that I didn't get, whatever auction I lost, let it go. Don't get emotional about it, and then forget about it. And then I have like the Tech 880. Like sometimes they just appear and then they're at the right price. That happened to me with Batman 251 as well. I was looking for that for years and never saw it out here in Vegas. And then I went to Florida and I was shopping out there one year in 2019, and I found one for a good price. So it's like sometimes when you're least expecting it, they come around. I don't know. That's how
I will say that's one drawback of having too specific of a hit list. Is like sometimes it's like, all right, I need these 4 books. If you're like in a rush to get those specific books, you're probably gonna be more inclined to overpay for them.
Exactly.
It's the opposite of like opportunity waiting for the deal. Like sometimes like the times when I've overpaid for a book the most, it's when I've been super thirsty for a certain key, and I'm like, oh, I need this key, and it's like I can't have the patience to wait for a good deal, and I end up paying a premium.
Like I always think back to I think was it the first Batgirl that you picked up?
Yeah.
That one, I was like, dang, that's a good grade. He got it at a great price. Like that's ideal to me. That's how I collect.
Yeah, that one did work out well.
So somebody was selling that the other day. I think it was Hiram.
Oh, that one too.
On IG, and he had the first Batgirl, and it was like I want to say it was like a 4.0 range, and he was like selling it for like raw for like $800 or $1,100 or something like that. I was like, holy crap, because I bought that book a couple of years ago for $350.
Yeah.
Astonished at how far it's come up.
Yeah.
But then I guess I see prices just all over the place. I was like, one guy was selling today on Elite. He was selling oh God, what was it? I just kind of blanked on it. Never mind. Forget it.
Yeah. You're right though. That's like some of these dudes on eBay.
It was a Batman 232, right? So it was or not 234. 234. Sorry, Matt. It was a 234. Which is the first Two-Face, right? And it's like a 7.5, and he wanted $400 for it. And I'm like, I have a 5.5 slab of that I just got back, and I've been looking at the prices, but I went back and looked again just to check, and I was like, that book graded is still only like $250, $300 in a 7.5. I'm like, it's like some people's price, kind of, but they want to get what they want to get for their books. I get that. I do. So.
Yeah, all these guys are trying to break GPA.
Oh,
yeah. I break GPA records. I'll never forget the dude at Torpedo Comics I saw D-Ron mention it earlier.
Yeah.
He said me and 84 got beef with Torpedo. And he says that we don't really, but we at that con at the Chicago con, I was like, hey, I'm like, man, when I look up the GPA on these books, like you were like double in some cases. I'm like, what's up? No one respects GPA anymore? Right? Maybe that was a little bit of a taunting question, but he was like, man, I break GPA records every chance I get. So all these sellers, like, I feel like they compete to see who can successfully mark up a book the more than the other guy and sell it. Like,
well, I think their angle is that they're not expecting you to look it up.
I guess,
but that's why I don't really shop at Torpedo.
Yeah,
it's not really meant up. I don't know, for hunters, I guess. It's very overpriced, but they have a lot of variety. It's cool.
I found a lot of good stuff there. The one time that I was there in the store, I bought a Justice League #1, right? And I overpaid a little bit for it, but I don't find a Justice League 1 in my area, right? It was just like kind of an opportunity buy. I bought that, and I bought a couple other things on one of their IG claims.
Yeah, I mean, like that, it's fine because it's not very frequent, but. Someone like me who likes to go on hunts, it's like I'm not going to be going there all the time.
Oh yeah, no, you're not going to find deals digging it.
No,
they're market priced or plus 20.
But it's a great place to go if you're looking for a specific key or something.
What's your favorite shop?
Right now, I actually went to Fandomverse the other day, and it was pretty cool. I don't know if you guys know Sammy from the community, the YouTube community. She works there. So,
who?
Sammy, do you guys know Sammy?
Sammy,
kind of newer to the community, but yeah, it's a shop out here. It's called Fandomverse. That one's pretty cool. What's up?
So we're on Cheyenne.
Yeah. And then
I popped in there the last time I was there.
Alternate Reality is really cool too.
Oh, Ralph! I've known Ralph for years.
Oh, he's so nice.
That's where I'm jealous. Like I'm stacked with flea markets in my area, but I don't have like my LCS availability is really slim, and it sounds like got that base covered well.
Yeah, there's a lot of good shops out here. But
Las Vegas has been identified as probably having the most comic book stores per capita of any city in the United States.
Whoa, that's cool.
It has a ton of stores, but like
it's just hard to find keys. That's all.
Yeah, it's just hard to find keys.
But yeah, they're great stores though. Most of them are. I mean, Maximum Comics does a great job with new comics.
Yeah, I've gotten some I got some good Spider-Woman back issues out of their the Fort Apache store one time.
Yeah, I like going to all of them. I kind of make my little trip around, little circuit.
And it's like I've gone there, and it's like I bought from like good shops, and then I go back, they're gone. I'm like, okay, gotta find somebody else now.
Yeah.
Hard to set rapport, when they're only there for a couple of years.
True. Yeah, there's been a couple that have closed since I moved out here, like 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah.
Kind of sticky. That's where that huge lot that I shared came from. One of the stores that closed. Yeah.
There was one on the south side, like way south, like down by the mountains. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but like I went in there. It was like a nice little store, you know, and he had some good silver in there when I went in there.
Was it a Cactus?
No, not Silver Cactus. Silver Cactus even around still?
No, they just closed.
I knew those guys when they first opened the store over on Nellis.
That one? I don't know.
Way back in the day. Hey, nostalgia. We'll talk about that off air.
Yeah.
It's a Matt. What's your main goal this year? Right. I mean, you got a lot going on in your life, you know, but I know you still like to hunt a little bit, you know, whether it's online or local.
Yeah.
Obviously what you like to hunt is not always available local. That makes it a challenge.
I've got a great LCS for my pull list. The guy's awesome.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have any like older books or anything I can, you know, pick up from there. And then the rest of the shops in town, like, they're okay, you know? So I get everything off of eBay, IG, stuff like that. But so I want to upgrade my last 3 off-white white pages. And the reason this will work for me this year is because I could sell these and then use the cash and pay a little extra, you know? Mm-hmm. And so, like, my Brave and the Bold 28, it's 5.0 off-white. I'd love to get a 5.0 white pages. Thing is, old label, it's never been pressed and cleaned. So D-Runk keeps telling me, dude, you need to break it out of there. Press it, clean it, and then resend it in. So you can get a grade bump, you know?
Is that Avengers 4 one of those that's not white pages?
This is white pages.
It is? Yeah. So no Avengers 4 is available, in other words?
that one's
That's another one that I'd like to get.
That's a white pages right there, man. Yeah, I hunted this one for a long time when that came out. So
it's a great book, man.
But this one's blowing up right now.
Yeah, it is.
And I want this one with white pages. Originally, I had one in the 7.5 white pages, but that's crazy prices now. So just, you know, I'll pay a little bit extra money, maybe sell this one, and then grab the 5.0 white pages. And then this one, Strange Tales 110, I'm freaking out because I don't want to do any WandaVision spoilers, but if the bad guy is Nightmare, you know, this book might blow up. So, but yeah, I'd love to get this one 5.0 to 7.5 white pages.
The bad guy's Nightmare. That's going to be a huge letdown for all the Mephisto fans.
Well, that's what I'm going to tell you. So I had to have DS talk me out of doing this today, but I've been after. Let's see, there it is. I've been after 9.0 white pages, so it can match my Silver Surfer 1 and my Silver Surfer 4. And man, that book was selling for like $1,300 last year. And now I found one on eBay for $4,500.
Yeah, it's at an all-time high.
I'm just like,
set it in the back burner, man. Set it in the back burner.
And that's why I messaged DS. I'm like, help me think this through, bro. I'm really wanting to do this because what were you saying? I'm thirsty. I'm thirsty, but he's like, don't do it, dude. It's stupid. Don't do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I didn't do it. I passed on it. The guy even sent me an offer. He's like, I'll do it for $4,000. But I'm like, you're still like $2,000 over, man.
Yeah,
like,
over what I'm willing to pay for it.
I know. But,
yeah, that's a good call.
So yeah, I'm just looking to upgrade those to white pages. That way I'm done with that. And then everything else I look for from here on out is white pages, you know, which is going to be tough because the 3 books I still want in white pages are AF-15, X-Men 1, and what's the other big one I'm looking for? Oh, FF1. So, but those will be like, yeah. So we'll see what happens, man. But yeah, so I'm looking to upgrade those. If the right, I'm kind of hoping that Mephisto's not the bad guy in WandaVision, and that way that book just goes.
Craters.
He won't be. That spec's going to deflate, I think.
Yeah,
I think it's just going to stay at Agatha, and that's going to be it.
Me too. That's it. The mystery villain has been in front of your face.
Now that it's a two episode fight.
Yeah, it's like, who's the villain? Who's the villain? She's been there since episode 1, brother. That's the villain. Like, she ain't hiding. She's right there.
DS is saying he never sees AF-15 with white pages, but I actually know a guy, DST Comics on IG. He's the same way as you. He only buys white pages.
Yeah, I love that.
He got one. But he's hitting like CGC forums, right? That's where he's finding that stuff.
I'm actually following a couple on eBay right now that are white pages, but they're 20, 30, 40 grand. So
oh yeah, I bet.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So Kavi had two good questions. I want to flip back to.
John?
One was, what's the price difference between an off-white white to white on a book like that? I think we were talking about Daredevil #1.
Yeah, so a guy was telling me this one can sell for like $6,500 right now, and he had a white pages that he was trying to sell for like $8,000.
Really?
So,
in the same grade.
Same grade, man. So I don't know. I mean, the thing now is that, and I was gonna say this earlier too. When I bought my, I think I pulled it up. Yeah, when I bought my Amazing Spider-Man 300, right? I didn't go for the newsstand, and it was like a $40, $80 difference, like 3 years ago when I bought it.
Oh wow!
Now the newsstand is like $3,000 more.
Yeah.
So like every little thing that I'm just, like, whoever's watching, if you can just spend a little extra money now, I think it'll pay off later. So those white pages, like, to people that are looking for it, you're gonna have to pay a premium now for it. You know what I mean?
See, I've sold, like, I've sent in 2 books and I've gotten them back, and I'll keep the higher grade and sold the lower grade regardless of the fact. Like, I know on some of those, like the lower grade had white pages, I just dumped that and kept the higher grade because, well, the higher grade's the higher value, right? Because sadly, what they don't note on any of the grading sites or any of the sales sites is whether or not it had white pages or it didn't have white pages. It's the grade.
Yeah. I used to be willing to like trade down to get white pages, but now that I see these prices like going insane, like I just want to keep it comparable, like right on 5.0 to 5.0, just get those white pages.
All right, so I'm going to finish this off with this last question from Comic Books NYC. Do you guys have any non-comic collecting goals this year? Mine is to lose weight, but that's every year that's the same goal.
I don't want to go first on this one. I don't know.
Well, quickly before I answer that, I was pointing to this. This is another book I want because it's been in my background forever, just because, and it'd be cool to have it.
Number 5.
5.
Yeah. Or
no,
yeah,
6.
Number 6. Number 6. Yeah. That'd be cool.
First,
anyways,
Dr. Amos Fortune.
It just would be cool to have.
Is it just because it's been on your wall forever?
It's just been on my wall. I love the cover of it, so that'd be awesome.
Right on.
Anyways, as for goals outside of comic collecting, I don't know. I don't know.
All right, we'll get back to you, Matt. How about any goals outside of comic collecting?
So I don't know if you guys knew this, but I went to school to become a writer, and I've written a couple novels and kids books and stuff. Just haven't tried to get published yet. But I've got a novel that's completely finished that I want to try to publish this year or get published. I've got like 5 or 6 kids books that I just need to find an illustrator for and then get those published. And then I'm in the middle of writing what I think is my best book, and it's about a little superhero kid. And it's like my whole superhero universe. I want to finish that book and get that one published because I think that's the most promising out of everything I've done. So I've set a goal to get that finished, and I honestly think if you guys read it, you dig it. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So
it's actually funny that you said that. So I did in a class a long time ago. I did a story. That was about me and my kid, my son, when he was like 3, going to pick out a Christmas tree. And it's like, I keep asking my wife, I'm like, where's that story? Because I want to take that, because I think I can take that, like, and just do some illustrations and turn that into a really cool children's book. Yeah. Just because of the way it was. I've got a good grade on it, but, it doesn't make me necessarily a great writer, but Yeah. Oh, that's very cool.
Yeah, man. My kids' books are all inspiration from things I've watched my kids do.
Yeah.
And the way their mind works completely different than adults, and the way their imagination is just powerful. So it's all been stuff I've seen my kids do. You know.
You
Cool.
certainly have a lot of observation hours.
Right.
A lot of opportunity there for research. All right, Kenny, stop stalling.
All right. So I like that Kavi clarified his question.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that.
You know,
Collecting other stuff besides comics.
yeah. Because besides like comic,
No. We're going back to the other one. What was the
yeah. Just continue my plot to take over the world, man.
There you go.
I got some reading goals, man. I need to read Alan Moore's Swamp Thing.
Yeah.
I got to get that done this year. I know I'll like it because I've read. That's one of those things that like I'll pick up single floppies here and there, and I'll always read the individual issues and be like, "Damn, that was good." So I know I'll like reading it, and I think they put out an Absolute edition, which is another collecting goal. I want to scoop up as many of these DC Absolute editions as I can. So I might work on doing one of these, and that'll help me scratch the itch without, because if I'm going to try to avoid, going after like bigger keys and stuff, but obviously, comics is always on my mind one way or the other. So I can't just like not go out and buy stuff, or read stuff and collect stuff. So yeah, I might try to dig into some more of these. I want to read Alan Moore's Swamp Thing, and you know what I'm saying. Maybe have maybe one more commission before. I'm not going to go down the original art rabbit hole, even though there was like a period of like 3 or 4 months that I was just browsing like a fiend, watching Kavi's show, and I was coming close. I'm like, hold on, I have to fall back. But I wouldn't mind commissioning like another one of those like homage. You know how I did that like Batman Bane homage cover of Hulk 181? I think that's so fun to commission an artist to like swap the characters out in something that you come up with.
Yeah.
I got to do one more of those. Maybe
That was cool.
That thing is beautiful, man.
Yeah, stuff like that. And find love. And get married. No.
Any last thoughts, JoJo?
I'm just kidding. I don't want that.
Wait, what did you say?
Threw it in there, dude.
I'm kidding.
You're going to have to repeat that. I missed it.
Catch it on the rewind, y'all. Thumbs up button.
I might be flipping some trading cards soon.
Yeah,
I gotta go digging for my trading cards and seeing what's up because it's getting crazy. And so I'm gonna definitely go through some of that. Maybe tomorrow, actually, I might open up some packages, or depending how much they are, I'm gonna do some research beforehand, see if I should even open the packages or not. But I have some Star Wars trading cards. I have some old Marvel cards,
Nice.
and some old Pokemon cards. So
you got that 91 set? Do you know of the Marvel cards? Or
I don't know. I just bought a bunch from Big Lion Cat like 2 years ago, and I was like, "Oh, these are so cool!" And then I just kind of put them away, and I just didn't ever go back to them. So I got to dig those out and see what I got.
Yeah, you should.
No.
He just slipped that in there real quick too.
Very
Good. Everything's under control in that department. We're good.
It's too funny. Hey, I want to thank you guys all for coming on to the show. Thank you so much. You guys have been great. The chat's been very, very vibrant tonight, especially with John jumping in at the end. Any last parting words? We'll start with Matt, because I know that he may not have a lot going on, but I want to let him give him an opportunity to say some parting words to our guests.
I miss y'all, love y'all, but that goes without being said, I might drop a couple videos here pretty soon because y'all you might have seen on IG. I'm trying to figure out what comic cover I want to go with for my Frog Boy.
Oh yeah,
commission. So I think I'm gonna make a whole little video about it. Give him
Red
some
Hood.
exposure. You know, that's what I'm thinking, man.
Yeah, please do the Red Hood.
I want to kind of show you guys like the journey I've been on because I picked a ton of comics and he's like, no, that one's already commissioned. Sorry, that one's already commissioned.
Yeah, he won't duplicate.
He won't
Oh,
duplicate.
really? Oh, interesting.
Oh,
So like
Batman he did was fire.
yeah. Oh man, it's beautiful. I originally wanted the Spider-Man one McFarlane with the silver webbing, and he's like, no, sorry, I'm doing that one for somebody else. And then Thor, I'm sorry, Silver Surfer 4. No, I'm doing that for somebody else.
That's way
There's a whole bunch that I was thinking of doing, but he already had them. So I had to start looking, and I've spent days just going like through the Marvel app. I'm like, all right, Daredevil, let's look at all the cool Daredevil covers, go through them one at a time, you know? So I think I've come up with a cool little video to put together, get people excited about it, maybe get like a vote on straw poll or something, you know? And then when it's all said and done, do whatever I want. But it's kind of fun to get the community involved, you know what I mean? So and give him some exposure because man, he does some amazing stuff. So
just pick out an hour with a dozen titles and let's do a live show.
we should. We can, man. So and I've got them all on my phone. I've pulled up all the different ones I want, you know. So, but yeah, so I'm gonna do that, and I mean that's pretty much it. I'm so busy nowadays, but it's all for good stuff. So. A lot of people keep saying, like, we keep seeing you on YouTube. Really, why I came out and did that video is because I didn't want people thinking I was just ditching them and like not watching their stuff anymore, you know, because a lot of people have become family and friends. And I knew I'd be able to every once in a while jump in the show here or do that, but I haven't been watching as much YouTube as I used to. Yeah. I mean, I used to watch it daily. I'd be at work and I'd put on, you know, Grader's notes and I just watch it while I'm there at work or you know, JoJo's reaction videos, you know, or whatever. But now I don't even have time to do that, you know? So every once in a while, if someone asks me, hey, can you watch this? Like you did, Jimmy. I'm like, all right, I'll throw it on, you know? So I just wanted people to know, like, I'm not going to be able to be around as much, but I'll pop in every once in a while.
Yeah. And liberating yourself from having a set show that you have to do on a certain day, like Comic Wars. People were like, counting on if Matt started being like, well, maybe not this time or switch a day, there's gonna be a mutiny. You know, honestly.
You have no idea. People be over there like itching like crackheads.
Yeah,
like,
so I think he did the right thing. Like, you know what? Instead of messing around with the dates, just step back. So I feel you, man.
Thanks, man.
For sure.
Crazy. Jojo, what do we got going on your channel?
So tomorrow I'll be going live at around 6-ish p.m. Yeah, obviously. But yeah, I've been really enjoying the lives lately. I never thought I would, honestly, because I tend to get distracted very easily in just talking. And so I thought I would be horrible at it, but you people who join and, you know, we mingle and all that, it's just an awesome time. So
yeah, you're good at those. Very interesting.
It's fun. It's really fun. So, yeah, you know, made some new friends on there too. So it's just really, really cool to see everyone. And yeah, so tomorrow I'll probably be busting out those trading cards, like I said. And there's that for two. Yeah, other than that, I have some comic reviews I'll be doing probably later this week. That's it.
My man Kenny, what do we got going on the 84 channel?
Well, I'm probably gonna cook something up tomorrow because I have two, you know, like AOK torpedo packages that have landed. One from this charming fellow right here, TheBoyWhoHad7, and one straight from Austria, Varangian Vigilante. So I've been sitting on those all week because I've been working like a dog this week, and I'm like, I didn't want to just squeeze it in after work, low energy. I'm like, I'll wait till the weekend, chill, open them up. So that's going to happen tomorrow. And aside from that, I bought myself a Nintendo Switch last week.
Cool.
And, you know, and I've been out of the video game for years, right? So I'm just like dipping my toe back into console and stuff. But I got Marvel Ultimate Alliance, and it's fire. And I'm considering. I don't know how to do it yet, but I'm going to figure out a way because I think people stream games like straight to YouTube.
Yeah.
And don't be surprised if one day you just see 84 streaming a video game on his channel, that Ultimate Alliance. And I'm trying to.
So you know that Discord thing that we set up? That
Yeah.
no one uses? Yeah, that's what that's for.
Yeah. And it's 4-player multiplayer, so I'm going to try to, convince freaking YouTubers to join me and get a Switch and alliance it up with me.
Right on.
That's cool.
I have my daughter's Switch. I just have to pick up the game.
Yeah, man, make it happen.
I'm in.
All right. That's all I got going on.
That's all you got going on?
Yeah.
Right on. All right. So I have every Monday coming up. Every Monday is Slab City, new episode. I dropped a treasure hunt video this morning, and I'll have another video coming out sometime next week. But next week, next Thursday, coming up, we have a excellent show featuring John's Comics with Kids, finally, Rod the Rican, and Carlito Classico, right back here on What Do You Hunt? So definitely don't want to miss that. Other than that, thanks everybody for coming onto the show. Really appreciate you guys being here. Thanks everybody for coming into the chat, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.